Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My coach Viviana, where I talk about inspiring your business and your lifestyle. And today I want to talk about setting boundaries as an entrepreneur with a full-time job. Whether you're a coach, consultant, you have a service-based business, if you're operating with a full-time job, it is so important to protect your energy and your time, and I'm going to walk you through 7 steps today on how you can do that while navigating your 9 to 5. So, I have some notes here because I am better with notes, and plus, I don't want you to miss any opportunities. So, now, the first thing that I want to talk about when protecting my energy and setting boundaries for myself as an entrepreneur with a full-time job is time blocking. Time blocking is so important because it allows you to create non-negotiables for your business. This way, you can do the tasks that you need to do and prioritize accordingly. Now, a lot of the things that I'm going to mention here, I did get from this resource here, the 12-week year, this book by Brian Moran. And this is definitely a must read if I am listening to it on audio. And once I finish with the audio, I'm going to go ahead and finish reading the book. But it talks about planning your work, your life, or whatever goals that you want to set for yourself in increments of 12 weeks. And why it does that is because it allows you to create goals that are sustainable. When we create goals for ourselves that are like 12 months, 6 months, it becomes unrealistic in a sense where life happens, right? And if you're like me, where you work a 9 to 5 and you have a part-time entrepreneurship journey, then you know that on a weekly basis, things are going to change. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot plan for 6 months or 12 months. You most certainly can, but when you're doing them in smaller doses, it becomes a lot sustainable, a lot achievable, and you're not burning out or getting frustrated with the day, so to speak, or your goals. Now, the book also, or Brian Moran, I should say, he focuses on 3 different types of blocks. So, the first block, if you're an entrepreneur with a full-time job, is to have a set of 3 hours between 1 to 3 times a week. If you're like me and you're busy and you're on the go, then 3 hours is 3 hours, right? You can get a lot done in 3 hours. And that's going to be 3 hours for your creative space, something that you can stay still and work through funneling your thoughts, your goals, your the things that you want to accomplish, and just overall getting back into alignment with what you're doing for yourself. So, 3 hours between 1 to 3 times a week of complete uninterrupted focus time just to dedicate for strategy, content creation, brain dumping, whatever the case is. So, that's going to be one block. Your second block is going to be what is called buffering blocks. And those are between 30 minutes to 60 minutes a day. And that allows you to check your emails, get back to people that maybe have reached out to you, or maybe check your social media. So give yourself time. I like to say like a time budget so that this way you're not blindly looking at emails or checking this or checking that, because those can go relatively quickly, right? And if you want some help with tracking that, you can always use your phone. I like to use an app called Focus. It's a Pomodoro timer where it allows me to work for 15 minutes or 45 minutes on, 15 minutes off, 9 minutes off, whatever the case is, depending on how much time you have allowed it. That is really important for you to time block when or stay on top of your time when you're doing the buffering stage. Another time block, which I hold very dear to my heart, is taking 3 hours or even a full day to do absolutely nothing. And the reason why you want to do absolutely nothing because you need to give your brain a break. You need to give your brain a break so then this way you can funnel in your thoughts, you can revitalize your energy and get back into that focus mode for the next day. I typically use Sundays as my full day for me not to do absolutely nothing. And if I have a very busy week, then I at least do 3 hours on a Sunday. Sunday is like my go-to because it's when things are not really busy. I kind of take time for myself. I try not to create or, accept invitations or appointments because I know that I need to get ready for the week. And another thing around setting boundaries around your time is don't be a yes person. I was a yes person for a very long time, and I have managed to respectfully decline phone calls, messages, invitations, and I had to learn to do this the hard way. And I started doing this more intentionally throughout the years because I noticed that if I pick up a call at 8 o'clock in the morning or 7:30 in the morning just to chit chat, that drains my energy. I like to wake up early enough where no one is going to talk to me for between 3 to 4 hours. So typically I like to wake up between 6:30ish around there, and I don't start work till like 9 o'clock. Well, I don't start work really till 10:30, but I like to just have the morning for myself is so important. I have the morning for myself and I don't have to worry about anybody or anything. So that's number one. Number two is busy does not mean you are progressing. Busy just means that you're busy, right? And what I mean about progression is when you are creating something or you're doing something, make sure that it's going to push your overall goals, right? So let's say, for example, if your goal is to get 3 clients in a month as a part-time entrepreneur with a full-time job, right? And you know that you can only handle 3 clients, then you need to be able to do things that are going to get those 3 clients, whether that's having conversations on a bi-daily basis, whether that's creating content surrounded by targeting your client, whether that is, whatever the case is, right? Make sure that when you are in the momentum that you're not just doing things just to do it, right? Because that takes a lot of time as well and a lot of energy. And I'm saying all of this because I have been that person and I want to show you not to be that person. So, busy does not mean progress. That's number two. Number three, boundaries on overposting. So, I posted every single day for a whole year, like 7 days a week, even if it was a quote. I mean, don't get me wrong, my audience, my views, my followers, they have skyrocketed and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing to witness, right? And at the time, I was working my business full time. But now I have a 9 to 5, and that's not something that is ideal for me. Now, Is it un unrealistic? No, you can post every day. But remember, when you're posting on a daily basis, you have to think about setting time aside for conversation, setting time aside for working the algorithm, setting time aside for interacting with other people. Super, super important. So instead of racking your brains and saying, you know what, I need to post today, I need to post today, I don't know what to, no. Set three intentional posts, like create three intentional posts. And you can categorize them. There's so many ways that you can post on social media, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, or my go-to LinkedIn. I like to create polls. I like to create newsletters. I like to create videos. I like to create written content, but also categorize them. How to's, something personal, something transformational, a testimony, whatever the case is. Make sure that they are different, but also align with the people that you're trying to connect with. Okay, really, really important. That's number three. Number two is having clarity on who you serve. Now, if you don't have this part down packed, then I suggest that you pause this video and you ask yourself some questions. Let's work on three reflective questions that you can do right now to give you more clarity on who you serve, right? Number one, who do I serve? Number two, what are they struggling with, right? Number three, what transformation do I help them achieve? Now, it's really important that you don't just serve everyone, right? Because if it's too broad, then what will end up happening is you're going to be talking to everybody, and it's going to be challenging for you to create content, to create videos, to create whatever it is that you're trying to create for the people or for your clients that you want to connect with, right? Because when you have one specific niche, one specific focus, now you could create content surrounded by that focus. And it becomes a lot easier, less overwhelming. You don't get burnt out. And you can rinse and repeat your content, rinse and repeat. And you can utilize your content in so many different ways, like polls, newsletter. You could talk about the same thing over and over, and just switch it up here and there. So that is my go-to answer for number four, clarity on who you serve. Okay. And next one is simplifying your offer. And when I say simplifying your offer is knowing what your offer is, setting boundaries on your offer. So, for example, if you have a client that says, well, I get out of work at 10 o'clock at night, this is the only time that I could, meet with you from 10 to 11, and darn well that you're in bed by 8:30 or 9 o'clock, then guess what? That's not your client. Because you have to protect your energy too. You have to protect your energy, and allowing other people to create a commodity out of you is not the way to go. It's not the way to go. That's not what you want. This is what you do. This is how you do it. Whether you do master classes, whether you do boot camps, whether you do group coaching, whether you do one-on-one, whether you end your day at 5 o'clock because you have kids you need to attend to, whatever the case is. Now, I'm not saying that you do not have to use discretion. Yes, absolutely. If you feel in your heart that you need to maybe really help this person because, XYZ, use your discretion. What I'm saying is don't allow people to just do whatever they want with you. Set your boundaries with your offer. Okay, set your boundaries with your offer and how you serve people. Okay. Number six, building systems that you can follow. When I say building systems that you can follow, that basically means just getting up in the morning, you already have the things that you need to work on, let's say on your calendar, they're all written down, the times that you're going to work on them, XYZ, because let's be honest, every day is not going to be a Yay, I have all this energy. Yay, I'm so motivated. Yay, I want to do this. Lies. It's all lies. Okay. So build a system that's sustainable and build it where you're able to track also what you're doing and your progress. And that way, you will have momentum on a weekly basis because we change the way we do things on a weekly basis. Not on a monthly basis, not on a bi-weekly or whatever. We're literally a whole different person every week, right? Because I could be a completely different person last week than this week. Last week, I ate and binged like crazy. I didn't get that much sleep. I was overstressing with work. This week, I'm like, Akuna Matata. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. And that's it. Hopefully that was helpful. And last but not least, being a leader. Leader, portraying yourself as a leader that you are, showing people that you have character, that you have love, that you want to lead, that you want to help people, right? Because being a leader is not all about like making money, getting money, whatever the case is. Being a leader is also about leading. Leading by example, leading with morale, leading with genuine honesty and good intentions for your client. So that was my 7 ways on setting boundaries around your business as a part-time entrepreneur with a full-time job, or just setting boundaries in general, right? I hope that this was helpful. And if it was, leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. And if there's something else that you would like to learn more of, please go ahead and let me know also. I would love to hear from you. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.